Good evening. Glad that you are watching us on TV47 on the news tonight. Revenue divide, Senate's 9th trial. A heated debate as Senate sits for the 9th time to debate the revenue sharing standoff. Arrested over vote. 3 senators arrested on a day Senate was to debate the revenue sharing formula. Their arrest hyping emotions in the House.
We will not proceed today unless we have those 3 senators.
Bomet Senator Christopher Langat was, however, released without charges after questioning over claims of administering oath to some youth. The details in this newscast.
I'm accused that on 12th of August, I managed to mobilize 200 youths from Bomet.
COVID-19 billions? Health Ministry says it only received 15% of the COVID-19 funds. The ministry says it shouldn't be blamed for the entire COVID-19 budget. Plus, on Pandit's Night tonight, we make sense of the presidency, the deep state and systems. Tonight we host our residential analyst Herman Manyora alongside Soy Member of Parliament Caleb Kositani, Westlands lawmaker Tim Wanyonyi and William Kamket of Tiati. Good evening. Tonight of all nights, Anne Wairimu is our sign language interpreter. TV47 News Tonight with me, Abu Bakr Abdullahi, begins right now. Senators have agreed to form a 12-member mediation committee to try and reach a consensus on the disputed revenue sharing bill. The committee comprises of Senators Johnson Sakaja, Mohamed Mahmoud, Stewart Madzayo, Kipchumba Murkomen, Mutula Kilonzo Jr., Susan Kihika, Samson Cherargei, Moses Kajwang, Anwar Olei Tip, Moses Wetangula, Joshua Kinywa, and Ladema Olekina. This is after a long day of sitting that has ended a few minutes ago. All right, the formation of the mediation committee coming late tonight. Our parliamentary affairs reporter, Elizabeth Mutuku, has been following these sittings and now joins us on the broadcast. Elizabeth, good evening. Tonight, for the 9th time, this must be the lowest moment for Kenya's upper house, is it?
Yeah, I agree with you. Good afternoon, Abakar, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. It has been really a long day for the Senate as well as reporters following the whole issue in the Senate. With the first sittings, and the whole sitting starting at 10 a.m. in the morning, but within 20 minutes, the Senate, through Samson Cherargei, Senator Fonandi, sought to adjourn the House reasons being that 3 senators were missing and were being held at various areas, and that motion of adjournment really went through with senators unanimously agreeing to have an adjournment. But after the adjournment, they had to come back, emotions running high over the charges and over the senators, which were the 3 senators, Lelengwe, not Samson Cherargei, Malala, and also the other senator, and they were not being charged here in Nairobi. Each and every senator was to be charged at their own county. That means they were traveled, and they were to travel within that short time. Senators feeling that the House is not as independent as they thought, and the lives of these senators were at risk. And this is what made the House to have an heated debate. Some senators feeling the House leadership has been a failure, some seeking to be the senators, others feeling that the House shouldn't go on, thinking that it is wise for the House to adjourn. But at the end of the day, something was done, and then sobering moment came. But before we go to this sobering moment, let me go back to what the senators said in the floor of the House.
Live on our knees. If, Mr. Speaker, you even direct we proceed, there will be so much chaos in this floor, Mr. Speaker. there will be no action. You will have to call police to arrest all of us. Because we cannot proceed, Mr. Speaker.
We urge you, Mr. Speaker, to put your foot down. Your orders and rulings cannot be treated with contempt like I'm seeing here, Mr. Speaker. Put your foot down, and you have the law behind you that supports you.
We feel for our brothers and sisters. We feel for our brothers who are currently having issues. But no one has shown any connection between that arrest and this session at all. There is no connection at all. Those are issues which are not connected to the issues.
Mr. Speaker, you are sitting in that chair. Senator Malala was in the opposition. He was among the only few senators that voted to get you 42 votes, Mr. Speaker, to become in that chair. Senator Lalekwe and Senator Lalakat were among the 42 people who voted for you to be the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you sacrificed me. You sacrificed Susan Kihika. Don't sacrifice Kenya.
There's a great violation against the dignity of the Senate, which has not been dealt with. And now you are talking generally, and we can talk generally until tomorrow without resolution. I like the speeches I'm hearing, but at the end of the day, they signify nothing.
My hands are tied. There's nothing I can do but say that we shall follow the standing orders and the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya.
Well, those were sentiments of senators in the floor of the House. Some feeling that the House has failed. As I said before, I played those bites, or my producers played those bites. But then after that, the House had to vote to have the extension of time. That is 29 senators voting for yes for extension of time. And during this time, after a lot of debate back and forth in the House, they had to seek for 30 minutes adjournment. In this 30 minutes break, that is where they have made a consensus to have a 12-member committee. And this 12-member committee will be chaired by Senator Johnson Sakaja of Nairobi and also Senator Moses Wetangula of Bungoma, to ensure that before Monday, this House comes up with a report which will be presented to Akamukunji, a decision which all senators and the whole House have agreed to go that route. And in this Senate committee, remember, CRA can also come in to be able to advise on the matters revenue sharing. Let's listen in what Senator Orengo, the minority leader, what he had to say throughout that session.
Both the committee and the Committee on National Security will inform us of what is happening, so that as we reach next week, there will be no cloud surrounding our debate over this very important issue. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that is all I have to say, because if I say anything else, it will be beyond what has been agreed. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, having said that, I hope, and let us also stop name calling and blaming in all the social media and what have you. Then we create a new sense in this House. And finally, Mr. Speaker, call some good men of God.
Let us not call a special meeting unless we are ready. So that we don't say we are calling this meeting on Tuesday. Let us just make sure when we call a special meeting, we call it for that one meeting.
Put the question. I also want to take this opportunity to thank you as a Senate. And urge you that let us remain united the way we have been, and that even after we go through this, I'll ask the Secretariat at an appropriate time to organize for a retreat so that we can bond. Because it's very, very important that we remain united as a Senate and move together. Because divided we shall fall, but united we shall stand.
Well, Abakar, all said and done, all eyes are fixed on that committee to see whether it will be able to deliver the solution which is needed by Kenyans throughout this moment.
All right, that's our parliamentary affairs reporter Elizabeth Mutuku explaining to us what transpired and happened in the Senate. The 9th adjournment, a committee being formed, a mediation committee, to find at least a solution. But whether that solution will be found will depend on the outcome of that committee. Still on matters Senate, 3 senators were arrested ahead of today's Senate sitting that was meant to debate the revenue sharing standoff. The arrest of Kakamega's Cleophas Malala, Samburu Senator, and Bomet's Christopher Langat forced the House to adjourn the morning sitting. Langat has, however, been released this evening after he was transported all the way to Bomet.
Police raided the home of Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala and Bomet's Christopher Langat, while Samburu's Stephen Lelegwe was arrested in the city. Their arrest forcing the House to adjourn in the morning as senators stood in solidarity with the 3.
Senator for Kericho to tell us what the majority leader said about the 3 senators who are now facing threats, arrests, and intimidation.
A heavy contingent of police officers are said to have camped at Malala's Nairobi home before his arrest.
And then one of them was telling me, if you had cooperated yesterday and be taken where you had been told to go and hide.
Police were after Bomet Senator Christopher Langat, who presented himself in the presence of his lawyers, led by Nelson Harvey. The lawyers had questioned his arrest.
I've called the Director of Criminal Investigation, George Kinoti. His phone is not going through. I've called the Office of the Inspector General of Police. I've been told he's in a security meeting. And I want to give them the benefit of doubt. They have said that as soon as they're out of that meeting, they'll indicate to me the reason as to why their officers are camped here.
Langat will later be transported to Bomet, where he has been released without charges after being accused of administering oath to some youth in the area. Langat was accompanied by a section of leaders from the area as a section of locals held a demonstration. Senators protested the arrest of the 3, with Samburu's Stephen Lelegwe having been transported to Maralal in Samburu County. In Kakamega, angry residents staged demonstrations protesting the arrest of Senator Malala.
Hatuwezi kubaliana na ikiendelea tunaweka maandamano hapa ya kusema seneta wetu arudi.
Say that we condemn the leaders ambao wanataka huu mswada Irungu Kang'ata upitishwe kwa sababu those are leaders who are old and they have short-lived political careers.
ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi has castigated the government over what he termed as interfering with the independence of parliament. For TV47, I'm Nancy Kimuyu.
Elsewhere, the Ministry of Health has revealed that it has only received 15% of the total funds set aside for combating COVID-19. The revelations were made today by Health CS Mutahi Kagwe when he appeared before the National Assembly's Health Committee to answer questions on the disbursement of funds to counties in the fight against coronavirus pandemic. Eli Logova has the details.
As the coronavirus pandemic continued to ravage the economy and questions raised over the use of COVID-19 funds, the Ministry of Health has distanced itself from claims of mismanagement of billions of money meant to combat the virus. Appearing before the National Assembly Committee on Health Monday, Health CS Mutahi Kagwe confirmed that the ministry is not responsible for the entire budget set aside for COVID-19 and that the ministry can only account for 15%, which it has received so far.
Here and now, that the amount of money that is actually assigned to the Ministry of Health within the COVID fund is about 15% of the amount. So as we raise issues on the 15%, it is very important for us to raise issues the 85%. So it is being made, Mr. Chairman, through all sorts of channels to make 15% look like 100% of the funds, which is essentially not correct.
However, the Ministry of Health found itself on the receiving end to explain how the funds allocated were used in the procurement of PPEs. This comes amidst questions over the policy used by KEMSA to award tenders for procurement of the PPEs.
Is where there is serious and honest interest in the money and how it is being spent. The oversight that we are responsible for, and we should as an institution, respond to in every single way and in every single sense.
Health PS Susan Mochache added that 3 billion shillings of the ministry's supplementary budget was dispersed for treatment various facilities across the country, among them Coast General Hospital, which received 500 million shillings, Jaramogi Oginga Teaching and Referral Hospital received 400 million shillings, Kitui Hospital got 300 million shillings, Mandera Hospital received 300 million shillings, Kenyatta National Hospital was given 600 million shillings, Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital got 400 million shillings, while Kenyatta University Hospital received 500 million shillings. Eli Logova, TV47.
Thank you, Eli Logova, for that report. 9:15 p.m. Time for us to take a short break. But before I do that, let me do justice to some of your feedback that is already coming in on Facebook. Enos Omodi says he's following TV47 News at 9. Jared Rabuto says he's following from Nyanyuki. Peter Mburu, in relation to a story that we aired earlier on, says Tritritia Pesa. Keep talking to us. Text us on 22047. Call us on the number on your screen. The hashtag to use is Pundits Night. We are taking a short break here on TV47 News Tonight. We'll be back with much news after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to TV47 News Tonight with me, Abu Bakar Abdullahi. Thank you for choosing to stay with us. Remember, you can be part of this broadcast. Text us on 22047. Call us in on the number on your screen. You can send us a message. and as well as your opinion. Let's get to more news now. And the 11-day Cabinet Secretary recess was to commence today following the directive by the head of Public Service, Joseph Kinyua. However, some Cabinet Secretaries have had a busy day downplaying the recess, as Nanok Lorraine now reports.
Cabinet secretaries ought to have begun their recess this Monday following the directive of the head of Public Service, Joseph Kinyua. However, some of these CSAs were up and about, gracing various functions. According to the statement issued by Kinyua, Cabinet and Cabinet committees will not have scheduled engagements unless otherwise directed by His Excellency the President for urgent business, but for the case of CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i and Joe Musheru, woke up to the launch of Boda Boda Information Management System.
And I think recess or no recess, it was time well spent this morning, and it's my pleasure to declare the Boda Boda Management Information System officially launched.
As you know, we are supposed to be on recess, and the media has been talking about us and recess. But this is a very important function, very important meeting. We are always very happy to meet with the youth and to meet with the young people that are developing and transforming our country. As a government, we're very committed to being able to move things forward.
However, senators expected CS Fred Matiang'i to appear before the House to explain the arrest of 3 senators. Matiang'i, alongside Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai, are expected to appear before the Senate's National Security Committee on Wednesday to address the arrest of the 3 senators.
Further evidence has been adduced before this House, confirming that the IG was at a public function, that the minister was somewhere launching a Boda Boda Sacco Association or something of that kind. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we are calling upon you to further give direction in furtherance of Senator James Orengo's point on what will be done to this particular officer who misled a committee of this House.
Nanok Lauren, TV47.
Moving on, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has urged Boda Boda operators in the country to support the government's effort in the fight against female genital mutilation. Matiang'i says the wide network that the Boda Boda riders enjoy can be utilized to bring culprits. A bet in FGM to book, as Mwangi Maina now reports.
Speaking at a meeting with Boda Boda chairmen from all the 47 counties here in Nairobi, CS Matiang'i said the riders are an integral part in the fight against female genital mutilation. Matiang'i alludes to the fact that the riders have a huge network and therefore a high possibility of knowing where these illegal activities are taking place.
Let us join the government's effort against female genital mutilation. Let us join the government's effort against violence against our young girls. Let it be known that if our young girls are carried by Boda Bodas to school, or as they walk to school, the Boda Boda riders who are riding around them are their foremost watchmen and watchwomen.
For a long time, Boda Boda riders have been blamed for indiscipline and abetting crimes, but Matiang'i says Boda Boda organizations are restoring sanity in the sector. He has requested them to protect young girls in their areas of operations.
The Boda Boda Association of Kenya will become now the new member of our policing effort to police our communities so that our girls are safe when they go to school and when they go back home.
Matiang'i spoke during the unveiling of the Boda Boda Integrated Management Information System.
I want, Bona Chairman, to encourage you that we work together to ensure that this data of your members is fully secured so that nobody can interfere with that data.
We want to identify ourselves with the government. We don't want to be called criminals when someone does a mistake somewhere. One person cannot destroy the image of our over 1.3 million riders in this country.
Meanwhile, chaos erupted at the function when a section of Boda Boda leaders demanded to know why they were left out in the meeting. Two factions of the Boda Boda Association of Kenya have been embroiled in a leadership tussle. The Boda information management system is geared up to restoring order and sanity in the Boda sector, especially in tracking crimes committed using borders. Now it is a matter of wait and see to see how successful the information management system will be. Mwangi Maina, TV47 from KICD in Nairobi.
Now, Ford Kenya's National Executive Council now wants 3 lawmakers expelled pending the General Council meeting, which will approve the resolution. The council resolved to expel Tongaren MP Esili Simiyu, Kandunyis Wafula Wamunyinyi, and nominated MCA Cynthia Mutere. Mumbichege tells us why.
According to Ford Party leader Moses Wetangula, the move is meant to expel any rebels that have continued to openly defy the leadership of Ford Party. The 3 were expelled from the party in a resolution by the party's governing council.
Discipline remains the key and cardinal rule in any engagement. We have seen other parties in the country enforcing rules of discipline for better order, better management of their party. Ford Kenya will be no exception.
Tongaren Member of Parliament Esili Simiyu has however dismissed the party's decision, terming it as a joke. The party has accused the 3 of sabotaging its activities. They were among party members who led the party's coup that ousted party leader Moses Wetangula a few weeks ago.
Going forward, therefore, as Dr. Chris has informed you, our lawyer will take the necessary steps together with the Secretariat to urgently inform the Office of the Registrar of the decision taken to expel the errand members. Steps will be taken to remove them from the register of members of Ford Kenya Party.
The party's interim Secretary General Chris Wamalwa warned the party members to desist from engaging with expelled members on any matters concerning the party.
We hereby assure our members and supporters that the Simba Party is intact and stronger than ever before. We caution them never to interact with the trio on Ford Kenya party matters. As you are aware, we had obtained conservatory orders, and we have members purported to transact business on behalf of the party outside there.
The High Court is yet to make a ruling on who are the legitimate party officials. Mumbichege, TV47.
Thank you, Mumbichege, for that report. 27 minutes past 9 p.m. Time for us to take another short break here on TV47 News Tonight. But after the break, we'll be back with Pundits Night, the favorite Monday political show. We'll make sense of the system, the deep state, and the presidency. Talk to us. Send us a message on 22047. Call us later on the number on your screen. The hashtag to use is Pundits Night. The question we're asking tonight is, do you believe that deep state exists? Your opinion matters and counts. We'll be back after this break.